Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're connecting from. I'm excited to be on this show today. Made show making a difference every day with Sandra Oko. And guess what? I have a very special guest who'll be joining us on this show. His name is Kunle Ologun. But before I bring him on board, I like to just say what the show is all about. Making a difference every day with Sandra Oko is a movement and a show that talks about what God has been put in each and every one of us. We all have giftings and talents. We're all made to make a difference. We all have talent in us that some of us are not harnessing to maximize. So we're meant to maximize and harness all the giftings that God has given unto us, to just stand out and make a difference in our world and also impact our world. And today I have a guest who will be sharing his story, how it all started with him from zero, from a level of nothing, a level of minus, if you say, a level of trauma to where he is today. I'm excited to bring him on board. But before I bring him, let me just introduce myself. My name is Sandra Oko. I'm a Maxwell Leadership Certified Team Member, Speaker, Coach, and Trainer. I'm a member of the Toastmaster as the Vice President of Public Relations. I'm also a best-selling author and IT sales expert of over 20 years in the IT industry, and just recently got the gifted the Presidential Lifetime Award. I'm excited to be here. I'm also thankful and grateful to God for life. And the next person you get to see is Kunle himself. And before I bring him on board, let me just share a short snippet of how we got to meet. I belong to this group where, we call the Nigerian Ministers Forum Fellowship group, where you have different pastors, different ministers in Georgia State. And I stumbled across this video where this chap was so passionate about, and talking about why we must be there for each other, why we must also take a break and rest as, ministers of God, as disciples, as workers of God. Just, take some time and rest. And he was speaking about Samuel Poston. So that got me, stunned, as in trying to reach out to him, and like the way he spoke so passionately. And I was like, God, this guy is so passionate about what he's saying. And I had to reach out to him that I was thrilled, I was close to tears. I wasn't happy to hear what happened to Samuel Poson and everything. But I guess when I bring him on board, he will shed some more light and what we need to do to keep this body, because the only thing that permits us to live on this side of eternity, on this side of planet, is the body casing. And once the body is tired and wearied, oh my God, you are nowhere to be found. That means you're already transiting into the other side of eternity. So we've got to do the necessary things, the things we need to do to keep our body in shape. So the next person you get to see is Kunle himself. He'll be introducing himself, telling us what he's up to and how he's making a difference in his work. Hello, sir. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to have you this evening.
Hi, Sandra. Hi, everyone. How are you today? How are you from every part of the world that you might be listening? I hope you're all keeping cool.
Yeah, and I didn't even tell you that Kunle Ologun is the host of K90 channel show on YouTube. Is also what he does is that he interviews celebrity. He talks about immigration tips, how to mitigate it. You want to get the right advice before embarking on any immigration tips, and also job interviews. How to get ready and how to get this, six-figure job. How to get yourself prepared, and I'm excited to have you, sir. And I just shared a short story on how we got to meet. The story you were talking about, Samuel Posun, and what we need to do to keep our body in shape.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Before I move on to that, I just want to congratulate you on your Lifetime Achievement Award from Joe Biden recently. You, that's a massive congratulations to you for your
Thank you,
great
sir.
work. Well done, sister. Yes, I definitely agree with you. We need to keep our body, our mind, and soul in good shape so that the world will continue to enjoy the gift that has been embedded in us.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think there's been so many challenges, which probably I'm going to touch on at some point, during this chart that a number of celebrities today, they go through the pressure on the social media, fans, things like that, and they forget completely about themselves and their health. And yes, that was what propelled me to do that video, and it did went viral. I've gotten a lot of calls globally. I don't want to go into that detail now. From
No,
top
because you were so
ministers.
passionate when you were talking about Samuel Kosun, how he got into your house, how you almost died in your house, how you helped him to resuscitate him to, keep him in shape. And that got to me that it is said that we don't judge others so that we will not be judged. So people do fall. And when people fall, we're meant to be there to pull them out, help them come up, but not a time to laugh at them or castigate or try to stone them, and that got me. I was touched. So that was one of the reasons I had to reach out to you, that I watched your video on NMF platform, and I was thrilled, and thank God you responded to me. And that was, that's the genesis of the relationship, and that's why we're here together today. So I'm excited to have you, sir. Thank you for honoring and, also reaching out to me.
Pleasure.
So one of the reasons we brought you here, sometimes people just see, oh, celebrities are up there. Either they were born differently or they were made differently. But I beg to agree that we all same. But the time, it all depends on you, how you take life and what is your purpose, knowing what your purpose is, and going through the journey of life and coming out stronger. So I'd like you to tell us the story, how it all started, what prepared you to doing these videos, and how it all started for you. How did you get to UK? Because I know that you're talking about immigration tips. You probably would have learned one or two lessons, and you're trying to, be an advisor, giving people heads up what they need to do rightly so that they
Yeah.
don't fall into the same pitfalls. Because I often will tell people that we have people who have gone ahead of us, and we need to learn from those people. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We don't need to fall into the same pitfalls they fell into. We can learn from them,
Yeah.
you know. And I'd like you to just share your story before I start asking my questions.
Thank you so much, Sandra. I'm gonna take you back a bit. Background about me. Came from Nigeria. Kunle Ologun. In Nigeria, I'm known as Alaba Ologun. And in the UK, I'm Kunle Ologun. And the reason is that I came from the family of twins. Um, my mom, blessed memory, she's late now. She just, I lost her. Well, we lost her just in December, couple of months
Wow,
now.
so sorry.
Yeah, yeah, we're still preparing for the burial now, so meetings every day. Um, we are two set of twins in the family. If you are Yoruba, you will understand Taiwo Kende Idowu Alaba, Taiwo Kende Idowu Alaba. So
Wow.
my mom was just, she's got so many of us, have got so many siblings. And yeah, from Nigeria, my dad is late as well now, Ologun. So his journey started long time ago now. I was privileged to live with my dad, who was, like a petrol dealer during those days, 1990, 89, 90, long time
Mm.
ago now. Yes, so many filling stations in Lagos, in Nigeria, about 15 of those. And yeah, very, very wealthy. Um, Sometimes 15 different cars. I've got 5 cars take me to school 5 days a week with 5 different drivers. Yes, I was privileged to be the favorite child out of so many children. I was the favorite child of my dad because a lot of my siblings and aunties, uncles will say I'm the carbon copy, just the way I look. They say that's how he looks as well. And he loved me so much when he was alive that he gives me everything I ask for. And I remember one of those asks was every last Saturday of the month we have to go to Papa Amusement Park. And my dad would say,
I
"My
remember
son
those
said,
days too.
my son said, we now need to go," and we start preparing. And I remember very well one of the younger ones. So I would say that he was the breadwinner of his family as well, the only son out of four children, and the last child, the only son. And he was really key to helping a lot of members of the family, brought them to Lagos from Akure, Ondo State. And one of those, the sister's son was to have a wedding ceremony in Accra, Ondo State. I remember then we traveled with entourage, so many cars on the way, and we got there at the party. We were preparing for the party, and after that, I then said to him, as usual, that can we go to a Papa amusement park? And he said there's no Papa amusement park in Ondo State, Accra, and then called one of his drivers that where can my children go? And then the driver recommended Ikongosi. I understand that's where the hot water and cold water met in
Yeah.
Ondo State. I never got there. I remember very well, we set out for the journey, and I was in one of the cars, and the driver said to me that he couldn't see anymore. And long story short, he drove the car into a deep, and the car somersaulted several times. And that was the accident that I lost one of my older brothers, my Kendi. He died
Wow.
straight away in that accident, and it was unfortunate. Now, then, a lot of people died, and then I was unhurt. Came out in a car that somersaulted several times and got pieces completely. And I came out unhurt. My hair was dirty, and I remember it was shocking. That's how I know that God
So sorry.
has a purpose for my life. So that's just yes. Thank you for that. 84, and then got to Lagos and life moved on, and then I'm just gonna try and cut it short. Back to me. I attended Lagos State University in Ojo. I studied sociology in Lagos, Nigeria. Finished in 2002, and then I
What
went to
course
my
did you pursue?
sociology,
Okay.
Lagos State University, and then I went to my for my national service call on the 3rd of March 2003, and that was in Imo State. I was posted to Imbitoli local government, Warubi, all those. But at that time, I was playing football. I was very, very active with football. I played for LASU, played for social sciences faculty, played for my department. I was very, very active with football. I've got a powerful left foot. I love football a lot in my life. I still play football now. So at that time went for National Service Corps and then came back by 2004. And then I thought to myself I needed to work in Nigeria, but that was when my older brother, my Ido, then traveled to the UK, and there was this friend of his that then came to the house and said, "Oh, your brother has now traveled to the UK. He has told me to come and pick up all the documents that I used to travel." And I said, and then he said to me that, "Don't you want to travel?" I said, "What do you mean? I want to work." He said he's been asking after me from my brother who traveled, and now he said, "Oh, don't mind him. Alabama the tie. He wanted to not tie in the bank in Nigeria. He's always financial services. He want to work. He's not interested in traveling." And that was how this guy said to me that you can do it. You've got your first degree now. Come and do masters abroad. Let's go for overnight browse. And I said, "What? Overnight browse? What are we going to do?" "Oh, you need to apply to uni in the UK. You need to upload your document online." I said, "Oh, yeah, I've got everything. All my certificate from LASU." I took everything and then got to this guy's place overnight in the evening and went to call him for an overnight browse, 7 to 7, paid. And we go into the cafe, uploaded all my document, and I started applying to the universities in the UK. And I applied to 3 different universities. At that time, the process was very lengthy because you have to upload all your document and then give reasons why you have to you
School
be
then.
yes, and you will go through a lengthy process of long application.
Yeah.
And then by 2, 3 days later, I started getting calls from the UK university. So, oh, you applied to this you have a good qualification. We appreciate your application. But we don't have that course. Do you want to study? I did apply for an MBA, Master in Business Administration. And then they will call me, say, we've got MSc. I would say no. Another one then finally came. It was Staffordshire University in Stoke-on-Trent in near Manchester in the UK, and then offered me the admission with scholarship to come to the UK. And then, I mean,
Awesome.
this
That's a
is
great
really,
one.
yeah. I was offered at that time with scholarship, and this is very strange. At that time, I applied to get my visa, and I remember very well. I was refused that visa, and the reason I was refused was that I appeared to have misinterpreted the likely cost of my tuition fee. That's the exact statement that the entry clearance officer used at that time. That you appear to have misinterpreted the likely cost of your tuition fee, and this has ultimately led me to doubt the credibility of your intention to travel to the UK and study or motivation. And then it was strange because the entry clearance officer got it wrong completely. My tuition fee was 8,955, and it was a 2-year MBA course. And I was asking the application from what is the cost of your tuition fee per annum, and then I wrote half of that in that application that per annum is this, and then for the full year, 2 years study is this. And then that's what he got wrong and said I misinterpreted the likely cost of my tuition fee. And then I wrote the appeal back. And when I'm writing an appeal, I don't give my stuff to solicitors. I don't deal with solicitors all my life of application. I do everything myself. I like writing. I enjoy it a lot. I research exhaustively and I put things together myself because I've seen cases where you have lawyers that put your application under their below file not submitted, and you are praying somewhere, and you later found out
True.
that they've not submitted your application. I've had friends say that, so I pick up everything myself, and then I applied for that, and I appealed. I wrote a lot of pages, about 40 pages. I was really, really
Wow.
upset. Yeah, yeah. I was really, really upset with that entry clearance officer. And then in the midst of sending the appeal to the UK, I applied to come and visit the UK again. And then I was given the visit visa to come to the UK. And this is where it gets so tricky. This is God at work in my
Yeah.
life. This is very crucial where I'm coming, where I want to say this, what I want to say here. I came to the UK, and a lot of friends welcomed me. I remember my mom had to struggle to get her cash for me to buy tickets and got in. And then friends were so excited that I
For you.
finally came. Yeah, everyone was celebrating at home as well. That this guy's finally traveled to the UK. He's likely to be a footballer. We'll be seeing him in one of the Premier League matches very soon and all that. The expectation was so high. And then I came into the UK for the first time ever. I was received by friends and my brother. There were about 7 of these friends and my brother in one room. Everyone just arrived that time. And then it was a Sunday. And by Monday, everyone celebrated. They cooked. They welcomed me, called back home. Oh, he has arrived. We've seen him and all that. And then by Monday, they all left for work. And I woke up in bed in that room and something appeared to me. This is shockingly strange. If it is Nigerian movie, we probably doubt them. And
True.
something strange appeared to me in that room and said, "Wake up, wake up! You are not meant to be here. I have a big bowl of water for you, a bucket for you. I'm only giving you just one cup out of it, and you want to throw away the entire bucket. Return, return, return now." And I came to my consciousness. Oh, oh my God, 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 oh my God. And I picked the phone my brother gave to me and I called him. I said, Bros. He said, what happened? I said, I'm going back home. He said, you, I say it to
You
you,
go
I
back
say it to
home.
the, he said, yeah. He said, Oreo, wait, get out. When I come back from work, I said, I'm going back. Bros, I'm going back. I have to go back. And then he go back in the evening. He said,
Oh my
hey,
God.
you, are you mad? What were you saying this
You
morning?
say that with
I said,
all.
I have to go back to Nigeria. I will come back again. I have to go. He said, why? He went to buy a calling card and picked the landline, called my mom back home and said, hey, Alaba said he's coming home. Please speak to him. I don't know his problem. My mom said, you're a bastard. You are,
Because
whatever
with all the stress she went to getting ticket money for you.
whatever thing they do there, do it with them. And we will not open the door for you if you come home. Yeah, it was really interesting. And I was so certain I had to go back, and I said that at worst I would just continue with my job hunting in Nigeria to get a job and with my BSc certificate. Like I'm not gonna stay in the UK. And eventually I returned. It was really difficult. No, no,
You
not a
still
good
went
welcome.
back?
I went back, of course.
Oh my
I went back
God.
after 11 days in the UK. I went back.
Oh
And
Jesus.
And then when I got to Nigeria, not a good welcome. I was there for about 3, 4 months. I was now putting an application to extend the visit visa. It was initially 6 months, which was due to expire a week after my return ticket. If I did not return to Nigeria, my visit visa would have expired in the UK, and I would have been an illegal immigrant
Sure.
in the UK. So I returned and then the visa expired. And then 6 months later, I got money to try to renew it. And eventually, that was extended for me. It was approved. I got a visa. And where I was celebrating that now I can return to the UK with 2 years visa, a visit visa. I can go anytime now. I went to a place in a cyber cafe. My mom just called me that I've got a letter, and with DHL, all these dispatch riders came to the house and dropped a letter that my appeal has been allowed, my student visa is now being approved, and that I should proceed to the embassy with my passport to get my student visa to travel to the UK. And I said, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you, Jesus, for listening. Thank you, Jesus. So eventually, I
So
then
does
went
that
to,
mean that if you didn't go back, you probably would have lost it?
yes, everything will
Oh
have
my
been a
God.
disaster. I probably would not be sitting here today.
Oh.
Because that was a defining moment in the journey of my life, not just my life, my career as well. It was a key moment in my life. Um, I then decided when I got to the embassy, I said to them that, yeah, okay, thank you for this student visa. I picked that up, and then you can't have two visas. Your circumstances has now changed. You no longer want to visit. You want to go and study. I said they should just cancel the visit visa, and
Yeah.
I'm happy with the student visa. And that was how I came into the UK. I left Lagos on the 19th of September 2006, and I got in on the 20th of September 2006. And since I arrived in the UK, everything I touch has turned to gold.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. When you say gold, can you describe that further?
Everything I have touched has turned to gold. And I mean it. The door has been opening back to back. Success. I cannot quantify it. I don't know where to start. Everything I touch has turned to gold. It started with the friends, family, well, the friends, about 7 of us in one room. As I arrived in the back, they said, oh, you said you will come back, and you came. Ah, you came. I remember one brother in my church who I first met when I came, and he said, why are you going back? I still saw him in church on Sunday. He told me this story that when I said I was going back, he was trying to convince me. My brother called him. He came to the house. He said, Are you sure? I said, yeah, I'll come back. And then I said, what is he going to give me? He said, he promised me like £100 that he will send to me when I get to Nigeria. And I got there, I called him. He told his wife that the wife was asking who is calling. He said, he's one crazy boy that doesn't want to work in this country, very lazy. He went back to Nigeria. He's asking me to send money to him. That he will not return to this country. There is no way he can come back.
Oh
And
my
then he
God.
saw me in the church and said, you said it and you came back. How did you do it? And all that. So he still jokes about it. He jokes about that. So when I arrived, I mean, the friends I was staying with, 7 of us in the room, I mean, God used me for them. First thing was that they thought among themselves, I was the only one that's got a kind of visa that can be used to get a bigger house. And they just go like 3 bed, everyone in that room, in that big flat in my name. I was on a student visa, and in the UK, if you're on a student visa, you have discounts for council tax. And you pay a lot less. I think it's been scrapped even now. You're not going to be paying. So at that time, they were benefiting so much from the fact that I was the one that got that big 3 bedroom flat. But I told them to give me one single flat room out of it, and they gave me
Yeah,
one
they can
single
share
room.
the others.
Exactly. I was paying a lot less money. And I said to them that now I want to study in a university. I want to do my master's. And all of these guys said to me, it is not possible. There's no way. Because at that time, you're going to pay £15,000 in 9 months. Where will you get the money from? And then I said, God will make a way for me. And that was how I spoke to my brother. He
Does that
just
mean
said,
that you lost the other scholarship?
so that's a really good question. So that university was in Stoke-on-Trent, near Manchester in England. So by the time I got the appeal sorted and then came into the country, they said to me that that session, I will have to wait for a new session in maybe February or something. It was going to be longer. And I said to them, no, I have to start running with, I came in September. In the UK, the academic period is September and February.
Okay.
So they wanted to they deferred me to another time completely. So remember, by the time I came back, it was already time has run on um, uh, the scholarship they gave to me and that admission letter already. And they were like, "Oh, I'm not going to come for that session anymore." So they didn't make any provision for me. They just said, I have to wait for another 6 months or thereabout. And I said, no, I can't proceed with that. So what I then did was to say, I'm going to enroll in a uni in London. So I approached the University of East London. I said to them, I want to study my master's, these are my qualifications, and all that. And they willingly accepted me. And lo and behold, they allowed me to pay home fee, home student fee. Home student fee is different from international student fee.
Yeah, you're paying as a citizen, like.
Exactly. I said to them, no, I'm a Nigerian with Nigerian passport. They said, yeah, they can see that. Don't worry, pay home fee because you are here with us already. We will allow you to pay, 15K instead of around 20 something K in pounds. And I said, wow. And they said, okay, for you to be sure, we will allow you to spread the payments. Pay us any amount now and start. And then you keep
Wow,
paying in instrument. I said,
this
wow.
is God.
Thank you, Jesus. And then went
Mm.
back home and spoke to my brother, and my brother said, are you sure? I said, yeah. And he gave me his credit card to go and make payment to deposit the amount. And that was how I started my MBA. And I did it in a university against all odds that friends had advised me that I needed to do it in a college where when you are issued a certificate, you will say that they will title it affiliated to so university. And I said, no, I'm going to uni to do mine. And God helped me to do it in a uni. So that was one key moment. And another key moment was the driving in the UK. This friend said to me, nobody can drive in the UK as a student. You will be arrested and be deported and things like that. What are you talking about? I went to apply for the for theory test. I passed. And they said, oh, Murtala Babali pass. If Alaba can pass, we can pass as well. They started taking the course. I went to apply for practical. I passed. They said, oh, if Alaba can pass, we can pass. They went to do it as well. They passed. And I went to work. I was doing a security job. During my MBA, it was tedious for me. It was really challenging. And that was the most challenging moment of my life in the UK. I had to be doing a security job so that I will be able to make up for the payment of that £15,000.
And
So
your
I
house
will,
rent.
and the rent and all other expenses. So I was working in the night, and then I will probably around 7:30, 8 in the morning, quickly have my shower in that security job, before staff start arriving by 9, and I will just go to the class. So sometimes I will leave home on a Monday. I will not come back until the following Monday,
Hmm.
because I was going from school to work, school to work, school to work, work to school to work, all the way like that. And I was to do a lot of presentation too with my team. It was really, really, really challenging. Sometimes that was at the same time I was in the choir in church as well. That when I go to the choir practice on a Saturday, my eyes will be swelling like that. I've not slept. So it was really challenging, but God helped me. I pulled through, and um, I finished the MBA, and through the MBA, God used me for probably a lot of members of my family. I applied for so many of them to attend my MBA, and all of them were granted their visas to come in, including my mom. So many attended my MBA, and then after that, someone saw me at work and said, "Oh, you've now got a driving license. Come and take this car and be paying me later." And someone gave me a car for free,
Wow.
and I started driving in the UK. And today, God has been really, really good. So don't let me pause it there, because I don't want to jump ahead of myself. I'm sure you have a
Oh
lot of
my God, you
questions.
said everything. Because I was meant to start with, oh, give us your background information. What were some of your biggest challenges? You already, went ahead, you spoke. And when you all your the challenges you faced whilst doing all that, you didn't allow that to mar you, because it
Yeah,
is said that challenges brings out the best in you. But there are two things that challenges could do. It could also make you chicken out and give up, throw in the tower. Could also make you keep going on and keep forging ahead. And in the midst of it all, one thing that stood out for me was hearing God.
very
You can
important.
imagine if you had allowed those set of friends to talk you out in going back.
Yeah,
You probably would never have touched what God wanted to give you. He said he had only given you a cup. You
yeah,
still have an overflow.
yeah,
So don't end at that spot. Go
yeah,
back home. No, first
yeah.
what came to mind was that somebody was calling you. There was
Mm,
a jazz working. Some priest was behind it. But I can your mom look for money, put money together. People had to put money together to send you buy your ticket. You know how expensive those days tickets were. And you got to UK less than a day. You want to go back. The
yeah,
first thing they will ask you is something wrong with you,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And in the midst of all those so many voices, your brother and everyone, you stood still. You still went back, having that mindset that you were going to come back.
yeah,
That stood out for me that if you miss God, you might never, opportunity come but once.
yeah.
You might never, stumble across that opportunity again.
I
And you
agree.
can see that, just that one instruction you follow through, every other thing was, start following and doors were
Yeah,
opening. You could
yeah,
imagine that if you never did that,
yeah,
you probably would have struggled all your life in the UK and
yeah,
still ended up going back to Nigeria.
yeah. 100%, 100%. I
Oh,
agree
that
with you.
was, having to know your purpose, In all of this, you had so many voices. There are things that people, giant stride that people could not take. You were taking it like you were like the leader of it all. It's when Kunle does it that everybody wants to do.
Yeah.
So you can
Up till
imagine
now.
that God indeed has a purpose for your life. One
Yeah,
from that accident,
yeah,
that was an humbling moment for me
yeah,
that you could have also passed on. like your brothers that your other brother you lost,
yeah,
and what would happen to a driver driving all of a sudden went blind?
yeah, yeah. I
Does
mean,
it happen?
yeah. I mean,
Medically, what would you say that was?
I think it's unexplainable. Um, he was ill and hearty, sound, and I remember I was very young, and I remember we were playing before he even left. He drove, and he's one of my dad's drivers that who said he's very, very good in driving. But I think there's been a number of competition within the family to identify who the eldest child is and all that. I think in Africa in those days there's chaos within polygamous family.
Yeah,
I came from a
some
polygamous
people
family.
could get
Y-
to the
y-
extent of being.
Yeah, yeah. My dad had 5 wives, 18 children, and my brother from my mom's side, who probably was the eldest son at that time, was probably, I don't know, I understand he was the target, and they just want to get rid of him and all that, and he died in that motor accident. But I cannot explain how a driver will not see the road. He said the road turned to 3 or 4, and he didn't know what path to tread, and he drove the car into a dip, and the car
Yeah.
somersaulted. Those days, all those roads, they are one way to go, one way to come, and the moment
Yes,
you
very
miss that,
narrow road.
very narrow, you're gonna go into deep, and the car will somersault, and that was what happened.
God has
But
a purpose for your life, for God to have
yeah,
kept you.
yeah,
God
thank
really
God.
did. He did have a purpose for your life. And in all of those stuffs, you went back home again. You still kept your purpose. You still
Yeah,
worked through. You
yeah,
still went again. One thing your mother wouldn't have listened to you in those days when you came back. What you care are you going to do again? Where are you going? Better sit back at home and face, at least you've tried it once. You came back yourself. So why don't you just stay?
yeah,
But in all of it, you still kept to purpose. You still kept forging our head. So what jumped out at me was the leadership skill you had. Trying to venture, trying to risk it out, trying to try new things. Nobody was driving amongst you. They were all in one room. You were able to say, okay, let's move into a bigger apartment. And, I'm sure some of the things people have said behind you, some of them will be eating their words. Like
yeah.
the guy that said you were lazy,
Exactly.
getting to see that you were working around the clock, from school to
Yeah,
security back to school.
yeah,
That was mind-blowing.
yeah.
And one of the reasons I like people sharing their stories, just that for others to know that life is not bed of roses.
Of
And
course.
even with you born with a silver spoon, I thought your dad would probably be sending you monies, sending you
Yeah,
cash,
yeah.
as coming from a rich home. But I guess he was done with your BSc, and the other one was supposed to be your responsibility.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's my life has been a roller coaster. I started with wealth, where I was just living a life. I mean, remember those days when my dad would take me um, to meet the Secretary to the Federal Government of Nigeria, Chief Olufalaye. I will attend Accra National Union's meeting in the house at Rotary Club and also Rotary Club of Pangrove. I would go there, meet the children, and we'll be enjoying life. And I was close to the government of Nigeria, very, very close, because my dad was always in a meeting with the Babangidas and all that during that time. And I mean, he died, and then he died in 1992. And then everything changed because we lost someone in 84. My mom was worried that after his death, there will be chaos on his properties.
They would
Yeah.
be.
So families were killing themselves, literally fighting and killing themselves. And then my mom took us out from the family house and took us to one of the dad's property. And then we were there, living there, and that was how things changed from being wealthy to living in a very, very poor state in Lagos. And then my mom was working with First Bank in Nigeria, and she struggled to bring us up in a different setting and said, we are leaving the entire property for the families and other wives and all that. And then we were by ourselves alone, struggling. It was really difficult, very, very difficult. And then managed to graduate from the uni and then started traveling abroad, and things changed again to what it is now.
Wow, awesome, awesome, awesome. That's a great one. That's a great one. That's a great one because when you have such big families, there will always be competition when there is
Yeah,
no will. I'm
yeah,
sure your dad didn't see that coming so soon to
yeah,
him. And if there's no will or living trust, so
yeah,
nobody knows what goes to this family, what goes to this wife, and to these children. It will always lead to chaos, even when people do have it. Some get envious. It
yeah,
becomes a race. That why would this wife be preferred above others?
yeah,
So it will always lead to that. And your mom did the right thing by taking you guys and hiding you
yeah.
guys from the tussle because it have been
Exactly.
why it's a fight and
Yeah,
it's a fight to survive. Whoever makes it takes the property.
I agree.
So, but your mom did a good thing by taking you guys off because that could have led to death of so several. Because
Yeah,
that's what happens a lot of times in this side of Africa,
yeah,
where there is a polygamous home and
yeah,
things are not rightly shared, properties are not given while the man is still living, even whilst the man is off, and there will also always be fights. But I want to also find out, how did you identify opportunities when you got into the UK? And how did you leverage them to progress in your journey?
um there's a second half of this program coming up this Friday. So
So,
if,
okay, we'll leave that to that. So then we don't start.
yes, I don't want to jump the gun. You're talking of my career path. One thing about me is I'm very, very obstinate in life. I'm positive and passionate about life. I have never been so convinced that tomorrow will be better than my yesterday. I live a life of so much energy that tomorrow is going to be better.
Yes.
I believe in better,
Aspiring for greater heights.
and God has been really, really good. So, on completion of my MBA here in the UK, I mean, that's another thing entirely that
We'll get to that on Friday. Let me not
I,
bail the cat out of the bag.
yes, I need to let people know about this one, and I will leave it till Friday because this can change people's lives. This part of the story you're about to say, and I'm not going to give it out tonight, and I'll wait till Friday. The truth is, I took a decision that today has catapulted me into what God has helped me to be. If I had not taken it on completion of my MBA at that time, and today I speak to a lot of people, they cannot take that decision. They struggle where they are with the job they are doing, and they are stuck. So I will leave it there on that path.
Okay, then. Okay, before I go on again, were there any mentor or role model who played a significant role in your development? Was there anybody
Hmm.
you were looking up to? Was there an uncle, an auntie, your brother's
Um,
friend who was there to just pull your hands, guide you, show you the route and the ways how to, go through? Being in UK is a new terrain.
that's a really good question. Unfortunately, there was nobody. I was a lone ranger because I was leading the people that were supposed to be ahead of me, and they didn't see all of these things, any possibilities in them. I was taking giant steps that you can never, never expect.
That brings me to another word. Are leaders born or are leaders made? Because your own case, I would say leader was born in you
I think in this case, I think it's God given from birth.
from birth.
Yes, it's
Because I
God
was thinking
given.
of probably with somebody in your life who was holding your hands, who was,
No,
calling you to check on you to say,
no,
okay, Lagbaja, how you
no,
doing? I
no,
hope you're studying. I hope things are going
no,
on well with you. But that's
no,
a great one.
no. No one, no one. It's been God all the way. It's been
Then
God.
I think before we call it a day, just I would like to quickly ask my questions before I check if there's any comments or questions on the comment section. Can you discuss any specific strategy or tactics you employed to accelerate your progress? what role did self-belief and confidence play in your journey to success?
Yeah, I think the combination of one, you've got to be God fearing. For me, I fear God in everything I do. I try to walk on the right path in all my ways. And two, I know that hard work will pay off. That I don't believe in shortcuts. I believe in hard work. The strategy is research, follow your instinct, and work hard. Don't listen to anyone because people will come to you and say it's not possible. People will come to you and say, no one has done it before in your family. You cannot do it. No one has done it among your friends. It cannot be done. But with God on your side, you can always stand out and be unique and exceptional. And I remember the house that we got in the UK. Think about this. We had a landlord who was not repairing the house. And I had the friends living in the house with me said, can we go and report this landlord in the council, in the local council? And I got to the local council to report because I was responsible for that property. And I got there, and the lady there said to me that, don't you want to have your own home? I said, I want to have, but I'm a student. I'm on a student visa. He said, please, can you fill this form and go and bring your passport from home and give it to me? I said, what do you mean? Complete this form. And then I went home to bring my passport, notified, completed the form and gave it to her. And then I went back. About 2 weeks later, I was registered for a house in the UK.
Wow.
I told my friends, some of them told their friends who's got student visa, and they went to the same council and they said, sorry, we don't register students for a house. It's not possible. And that was
Wow.
how I got my first property in the UK. And it was completely discounted. Like if a property is around 500K, they gave it to me for 100K.
Wow.
It's shocking. So
No,
there's strange
it was
things.
obvious you said when you came back, everything you thought was gold.
Yeah,
It was gold.
so that's one of many properties. So I mean, so I mean, when I say God, God has been really good.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. There's a scripture that just rang to me and said, "He said, Behold, I make a covenant before all the people. I will do marvels, such as have not been done in all of the earth, nor in any nation. And all the people among which thou art shall see the work of the Lord. For it is a terrible thing that I will do with thee." Meaning that when we're expecting and we believe in God, what has never been done in our generation, it starts with us.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
because we have a belief. And that was what happened to you. Because
That's
when you
God.
said everything just changed when it got to you, even your other brother who was in the UK wasn't having it that easy. You know, you were like the mouthpiece. It was like God was waiting. And that was what made me ask the question, were leaders born or leaders made? And I would say in yours, I think the Holy Spirit went ahead of you.
Yeah,
Things
it's
were just
God.
opening, doors were opening.
Yeah,
And that's because of one obedience that opened several doors.
yeah,
If you have
100%.
missed out on that particular one, I guess you probably not be here. We'll not be here talking today.
Yeah, I said
So
it.
just give me a minute for a meal. Like, we'll take a water break and I'll use that opportunity to check the comments and the questions.
Okay.
Are you thinking of how to publish your book on Amazon or how to get your published book to become an Amazon bestseller book? Dip Insight Books is the perfect in-between solution in transforming your ideas into a book. We can help you with all the complicated parts of publishing, such as process TO transformation. What we do: full manuscript evaluation, receive quality assurance edit, full copy edit and final proofread to remove spelling and grammar mistakes, oversee your cover design, create your interior layout, publish and distribute your book, lock down your marketing strategy. Ghostwriting, where there is no manuscript. Our goal is to help you publish your book promptly. Contact us today at 404-740-9091. Email us at info@dipinsightworld.com. To start the submission process, check us out at www.books.dipinsightworld.com and submit your details. You can visit our Facebook page at Dip Insight World.
Welcome back. I have a lot of comments, but I'm just going to be fast on it so I don't keep people longer than an hour. David Thomas says, nice one, brother. Emmanuel said, interesting story. Moses Adewale says, Kunle Ologun, well done, bro. And we have our Ologun Taiwo saying, thank God for your life. And then we have Bolanle Bolarinwa. It's good to always yield to the voice of the Lord. Well done, bro. Bolanle Bolarinwa says, you have said it all. Then we have our Bode Abiodun says, good job, bro. And Bolanle again said, hearing God is one thing, and doing what it says is another. Though doing is always the hardest, but you did, and here you are with testimonies. Hallelujah. If I was your mommy, I would disown you, sir. That's so funny. True. That was what I told you. After all she's done, oh my God. She says, extended families and greediness are 5 and 6. Deborah says, powerful story. Being passionate about life gives you a lifeline to continued success. And Emmanuel Asuke says, wow, that's so amazing. Oh my word. It's grace, no cap, all grace. God works in a mysterious way. I tap from that blessing and grace. That's from Emmanuel Asukor. Emmanuel says, your steps indeed, just a moment. I think the thing went, sorry. Your steps indeed were divinely ordered. I tap from your grace, oh yeah, a journey of faith. It was a journey of faith, truly. And how were you able to discern it? It was the voice of the Spirit, and you obeyed.
It's God.
How did you know it was God?
It was too clear. And there's been several times that after that time, God has spoken to me about this YouTube channel. It's God. If I start that, we're not going to leave here tonight.
No, we'll do that on Friday.
So, so, so God speaks to me in different forms. Um, Currently, when I'm jogging, I exercise a lot. That's when God speaks to me more. Now, I go out and jog on my road and come back to the garage and exercise on the treadmill and all that. And I hear these things clearly. That's how the YouTube started for Samuel Poso. I was jogging and that thing came to me and said, Samuel Poso died in your house. And I said, oh my God. I aborted the exercise straight away and ran back to the house and saw him lying down. And I had to, bros, you've got to wake up now. You cannot sleep again. I did that video. People should watch it. I've released it again. When I shot that video, it caused a number of chaos. I got a call from was he the top Nigerian pastor, PA
Yeah,
called.
Winners Chapel.
Yeah, I think that's what the church he was attending, and then I had to drop that call and then call Sinach, top gospel artist, and say, you need to speak to this boy to drop that video now. You need to put that video down and things like that. Now we don't want that video, it's too early and things like that. I was just being real and honest. That it was
Yes, I think I
unfortunate
noticed
that
it. The
happened.
video was off at the
It was
time.
I had to, because the pressure was so much on me globally. The evening, a day, the moment I released that video, in about 30 minutes, I got about 60K views or 50 something K views globally. And that was how my phone was ringing. And Wed MC called me and said, bro, you are trending. Someone that's just called me, who is this guy? Who is the manager of Samuel Puso in London? And all that. And then so I worked for a moment that day when it happened that he died. And the first person that called me was Pople Dairo. I was in a meeting, my phone was ringing, I was looking on my laptop, I would say, oh my God, Pople, I'll call him back after. And the next thing I just saw a message flash on my phone, Sammy is dead. You said it. You said it. I said, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I finished that meeting and I checked my phone and I saw the Facebook everywhere, Samuel Poso dead. And I went to slump in bed. I said, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I called Pople, what happened? Say, Sammy is dead. You said it. Just last week, you said it. So it was something that was clear to me that he died. But I did everything to abort it, to avert it.
Hmm.
I did everything, and I mean everything. He came from the state to my house and he was to be interviewed by me. I couldn't come into my house. Yeah, he called me from the hotel when he arrived in the UK, in London, around 12. He said, "Oh, Kunle, where are you?" I said, "I'm at home. I'm working from." He said, "They won't allow me into my hotel until around 2 or something." I think that was around even 8 a.m. And I said, "Oh, bros, I will send Uber straight away to pick you. I'm about to jump into a meeting, but I'll send the Uber to bring you." And that was how I sent Uber. By the time the Uber brought him to the front of my house, the Uber driver had to come and knock my door, which is unusual. Called me first, I didn't pick, and then came to knock the door that I need to come and get the guy out from the car. And I said, "What happened?" He said he couldn't walk. We got to the car, we carried him together, managed to get him into the house, and he laid on the couch. And I said, "Bros, what do you want me to give to you?" He said, "No, his body is aching him. His body is aching him. I should leave him alone and all that." Long story short, I gave him tea, I gave him few things. He managed to drink a little bit. He slumped on the chair. And I said, "Bros, me, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to jog now." He said, "Yeah, go, 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 go." And I shut the door and I went. And it was where I just got to the end of the road where I was saying that came. Sammy Oposo died in your house. I said, "Oh my God." And then that was how I aborted it and then went back home and pulled him up. And by the time I pulled him up, I was giving him food, doing everything. He managed to stand up. He was following me to another living room, is where Paul Play now joined us. And where he was resuscitated. And then he started calling his friends that he's now in London and things like that. He was about to have a show. And then that evening, around 10 p.m. in my house, he said, "Oh, let's go and do the interview now." I said, "No, no, 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 bro. No more interview today." And he insisted we should do the interview. And that was the interview. Do you know that that interview has not been released up till now? Fully edited. It has not been released. I have the fully interview on my desktop as I'm speaking to you now. I'm still waiting for the right time to get it out because that was his last interview on Earth. So he said, "Let's have the interview," because he needed to promote a show that was coming up a few days later. And then eventually we had it. I caught that part of the show where he advertised his show, and that I sent to him. He posted, I posted as well. That was the only part of that interview that's been out. The full interview is still with me on my desktop. And then it was Paul Plays Dairo's show the following day. I will try to cut it short, I know, because of time.
Yeah.
Probably Dairo's show was the following day. We got there at Pizza Express in Auburn in London. He was there before time. He called me, "Where are you guys?" By the time I got there, he was upset that we were late. They didn't let him in. And then Charlie Boy joined us and we were joking. The video is on my YouTube channel, it's on my Instagram page. We were joking and we go downstairs to where Paul Play was singing. And instantly he was calling my attention where he sat. That, "Kunle, come, come, come. I'm not feeling fine. I need to take my medicine. I need food, 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 food." I was troubled. I said, "Okay, bros, okay, okay." I ran to the desk and got what they have. They say it's pizza. I brought it to him. He ate and took his medication and he got better. And that evening, after the show, I took him to the hotel and he was there and all that. The following day, he called me. I went with him. Paul Play. He was now preparing for his concert and we went to do a shopping somewhere together. He could not walk to follow us. Myself and Paul Play in a shopping mall. He was constantly behind. He was breathing heavily. It was either that he wasn't fit or something wasn't right with him. And I said to him, "Bros, we need you to get checked. You cannot have a show like this." And he will say to me, "Kunle, when them born yourself, before they born you, me, I don't they do show. Like, when them born you,
Hmm.
and Paul Play will be laughing at me that you and this your brother. He will looking for trouble again. And we will get to a place to eat, to drink. He will be panting heavily. And I would be worried. And I said, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Bros, you cannot have a show. You cannot jump on the stage like this. You need to get checked. And they will abuse me and scream at me. And finally, it was his show time. He had it, and that evening took him home. And then the following morning, took him to his hotel. The following morning, got him in with Frank Edwards. He said, you have to interview Frank Edwards. That was how I interviewed Frank Edwards. And then he went to Nigeria the following day. And I was telling Popley that I'm worried about this guy. I'm worried about him. He said he's going to have another show in Lagos as he's arriving. I'm worried about him. And Popley, this is what I saw, that he died. And Popley said, don't say it to anybody. And it was the following day that I got that call from Popley that he's dead. And I agonizingly, after reflecting on it, I said, I need to save some people again. And that was how I went to shoot that video. And with my phone, I just say, this is sad. I'm sad. I'm not happy. My brother, I have lost him. Oh, Lord, men of God, please, can you take your health serious? I beg you in the name of God. We need you alive. So the video then went viral, and the family said, you have got to recall it, that they don't want that video out. And everyone started calling me worldwide. My phone was ringing, numbers, code from France, Germany, Belgium, Italy, America. I have never seen anything like that. My phone was hot. I got to a point that I said to myself, oh, my wife, I said, hey, I hope anything will not happen to me. I'm worried. And then finally got a call that the brother of Ozzy, the wife, called and said, this Ozzy, we are watching your video in the house now in Lagos. We want you to pull it down. We don't want this. I said, okay. I respect the family. I've been trying to get in touch with the family. The only people that can tell me to pull it down is the family. I don't know all of those people that's been calling me. Where is Ozzy? Ozzy said, no, I don't want to speak to him. I don't want that video. I said, okay, I'll pull it down. And then I went to suspend the video on all platforms until few weeks ago, I put it back on again.
Yeah, that was a very touching one. And this is a message to everyone there out there. Whilst working, you need to take care of yourself. Your health first. Health is wealth. Once that health is down, forget about the wealth you want to make. Everything is gone. Like we lost a dear brother. You know, when I remember his music, when I remember him, the life that he brings to stage cannot be compared. We lost a dear. We did.
So
But I
sad.
want to say thank you for making out time for this show. I didn't know it was going to be this long, but I appreciate your timing. Thank you so much. And David Thomas says, may God help us all. Motivation mode right now. You just set some people on motivation mode. Thank you so much. I want to thank our viewers. I want to thank you for being on the show. David, Bolariwa, everyone, Moses.
Sister,
Thank you.
let me apologize for interrupting you. Let me tell those viewers, motivation is one thing. I beg you in the name of God, whatever thing you're doing, don't give up until your victory is won. Irrespective of that, whatever thing it is, you may be the first one that will break the even. If no one has done it before, I beg you, keep surging, keep moving forward, keep moving, keep progressing. Don't give up until your victory is won. I beg you
Sure.
in the name of God.
Amen. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I thank your viewers and thank you, Mr. Kunle Ologun. Thank you. I know in another 4 days again, we're coming live again
Yeah,
to discuss your career and every other thing. So
yeah.
thank you for being on this show. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share with your friends. It is said that a leader is one who knows it and shares it with others. We don't know it and keep it to ourselves. We want to be a form and a source of blessing, a channel to others. So let's share so that this can be a blessing. So others who are working around the clock and not giving their body a break can learn that this body is just a container. If it's not well taken care of, the body can break down. And at the end of the day, life will be taken off you. So thank you so much. Have a blessed evening, everyone. Bye.
Thank you so much, sister. Bye.
Thank you, sir.